MIT student. Then I want to place this back in a larger context by telling you what it means for education as a whole. My story starts as an 88-pound freshman in high school, where I joined the wrestling team and longed to be as good as my older brother, who was a senior and a captain. Over the next 3 years, I worked towards the goal of becoming a state champion and discovered along the way that the only thing holding me back was how hard I was willing to work. And moreover, that every little bit of effort I put into practice paid off handsomely in terms of my success on the mat. Equally as importantly was I discovered perseverance, and that every time I lost, I learned how to rebound and learn from it and move forward. Ultimately, 3 years later, I graduated high school as the first New England champion in my school's history. And last year, as a junior, I became the second national champion in the history of MIT wrestling. What was most amazing was that through that process, I gained a sense of autonomy, the belief that through my determination and hard work, I could achieve my goals on the mat, and it's given me a tremendous amount of confidence. My next turning point came when I learned that the same thing applied to learning. Senior Year Project was an independent research seminar that took students outside the traditional classroom and gave them a chance to learn whatever they wanted at their own pace. Inspired by the idea of sustainable energy, I decided to research biodiesel, and despite knowing nothing about the topic, I set a goal to build my own biodiesel processor. The most amazing thing was that 4 months later, my goal came true, and I built that machine you see up there. I also wrote a 25-page research paper about my work, presented my work both formally and informally, and maintained an online wiki where anyone could learn about my project. What I discovered was that when I was learning with a goal in mind, it became a labor of love. And I saw how every bit of science and engineering that I was learning fit into this larger picture. And I walked away with a newfound appreciation and enthusiasm for learning, and a realization that ultimately I could learn anything, and that it could be an inspiring journey. I think when I look back that this transformation was as a result of 3 key ideas: mastery, autonomy, and purpose. And it always started with purpose. It started with a goal, something that I wanted to achieve. And whether that be becoming a champion wrestler or building a biodiesel processor, that was what drove me. It was what inspired me. Next, I got a sense of mastery. And this was the positive feedback that came from seeing how I would improve and get closer to my goal. Sometimes it was in the form of seeing how a new move I learned 1 week in practice translated into beating an opponent on the mat later on that weekend. It could also be learning how every little bit of science and engineering and chemistry I learned could help me improve my biodiesel processor. And what I developed as a result of that mastery and purpose was this sense of autonomy, the idea that I could achieve these goals through a combination of hard work and perseverance. And what that gave me is a sense of direction from which I could make a map and go achieve other goals, knowing that all it would take was a commitment to working towards the goal, and that no matter, even if I got lost, I could continue to persevere. When I arrived at MIT, I found that this confidence continued to help me tackle large-scale projects. For example, I started at UROP and designed my own research project studying de-icing applications for solar thermal fuels, for which this past summer I was the first author on a paper accepted in a peer-reviewed journal. It continued when I decided to do MISTI Spain, despite not having taken Spanish for 2 years or having gone more than 10 miles from my home to go to college. It continued when I decided to do my senior thesis a year early, and again invented my own problem studying the structure of bone, for which I became the first junior to win the Outstanding Senior Thesis Award in the history of the Department of Materials Science and Engineering. Again, what was really incredible for me was this idea that I was passionate about these problems and really cared about what I was learning. And through that, every piece of work I did was inspiring and motivating. I think that by doing so, I've gained this confidence to tackle large problems, because I know that it's through hard work and perseverance I can ultimately be successful. I feel like this is a crucial skill for education, but I feel like it's one not many students get. And that's because so much of education today is not about teaching students how to make a map, but about giving them a map. When students come to lecture, they're told exactly what they're going to learn over the course of a syllabus. They're told how they're going to learn it through either a chalk and talk lecture or PowerPoint slides. They never get the idea that they can design their own learning pathway, and from that, they never get the confidence that's made me who I am today. I think all of this can change, though. I think it's already beginning, and we've seen that technology is being used to transform higher education, and MIT is already helping lead this process. I believe that we can use technology to make education about map making and teach students the confidence they need to become problem solvers. It starts with what we do together in the classroom. It starts by bringing purpose back into education. We've all had the student or the friend or the professor who's inspired us and gotten us so excited about a topic we didn't even know we cared about. For me, it was biomaterials. And though I hated biology, I found that the way nature makes materials was fascinating. And I immediately wanted to learn everything I could about this topic and began researching it in my free time. The amazing thing is that if we can do this in class and inspire students to learn, they'll take care of the rest. Through technologies like Khan Academy, edX, and even the old-fashioned internet, students have the chance to design their own learning pathways and to teach themselves material in a manner that best suits their learning style. And when you couple that with the instant feedback technology can provide, you get positive reinforcement and help students develop a sense of self-efficacy that can help them learn anything. When I stood atop the podium at Nationals last year, I was inspired by how far I'd come and amazed at where I'd seen my hard work carry me. What was more exciting, though, was how far I knew I could still go. I'd seen that through passion and perseverance, even the impossible can be realized. And I believe that by combining the power of people with the benefits of technology, we can help all students have the same realization. In doing so, we can create a generation of lifelong learners with the creative confidence to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you.